Hi, my name is Adrian Reed, and I've very recently returned from the Building Business Capability, the BBC conference. If you're not familiar with the BBC conference, it's one of those really fantastic global gatherings of BAs. There must have been like 1,500 or maybe even more practitioners there. And it was a fantastic place to network, to learn, and to attend a whole bunch of really good sessions. One of the sessions I particularly enjoyed was Penny Pullan's session. And Penny kindly spent some time afterwards with me explaining more about her topic. Now, I'm sure many of us will be familiar with Penny already, whether that's through one of the books that she's written or co-edited or co-written, or you may well know her from her virtual BA Summit. Well, I'm pleased to say that Penny agreed to give a short interview around really drawing and visualization for BAs. So I hope you enjoy the following interview. Okay, Penny. So thanks for agreeing to be interviewed. I think it's fair to say you had a fantastic session, a very popular session today at the BBC. I mean, it was like filled to the rafters. It
was incredible. I was sort of thinking, wow. And they came, and they kept coming, and it was sort of, right, where are the empty seats? Put your hands up. And they still came, and there were people all along the back, standing the whole way through.
I know, standing room only, around visual thinking and such an important topic. Yeah. So I think as BAs, we often talk about formal diagrams.
Yes.
But in your opinion and your experience, why is it perhaps useful for us to think less formally about just sketches and drawings as well?
Because we and the people we work with are humans. We often forget this and think that beautifully crafted BPMN diagrams, which have their place, are the best way to communicate everything. For example, I was telling the story of Kim Quirk from New Zealand, an amazing BA, and she had been trying for weeks and weeks and weeks to get her beautiful diagram, completely accurate, approved by stakeholders, and they just wouldn't. And then she came along to a session I was running, tried to draw things in a slightly more human and engaging way that actually looked real to the people involved. Yeah. And they signed off almost immediately. And that's how I started with Kim's amazing story.
Fantastic. And I think one challenge we probably have as BAs, and you sort of touched on it there, Penny, it's almost the perfectionism.
Absolutely.
It's the fact that we want to zoom in and get every line straight on Visio.
Yes.
How do we get over that?
Well, have a look. Have a look at this border. It is not perfect, but it's unique. We are so used to straight lines that are produced by computer. They don't engage. They don't draw people in quite the same way as simple graphics.
So I mean, if someone, Penny, perhaps hadn't used drawing before, or hadn't drawn since a kid, or was sort of worried about drawing, what would you say a first step for them would be?
Well, it's all in here. If you can draw the letters of the alphabet, then you can build up some simple icons. It's not about being an artist and drawing things perfectly. In fact, perfect is really not helpful. It's not being an artist, it's not shading, it's capturing instead the essence of the thing that you want to represent.
That was something I found really powerful from your session, which you said, don't worry about the detail, worry about the essence. And you showed some really useful ways of depicting people.
Now, people, I always do people, because when you say to BAs, oh, you know, these wonderful things, rich pictures, soft systems methodology, all these wonderful things that we can use and we know how powerful they are. And they'll say, yes, but I have to draw. And I said, well, it's not, what's the problem? I have to draw people. How on earth do I draw
Stakeholders.
People? Yeah, absolutely. Stakeholders, people. And, the standard BA way of drawing a person is that. And sometimes people, use cases, you can, technically speaking, use that to represent a system.
Yes, any type of actor. It can be an automated actor. It's very confusing.
Now, if you show that to a human being who hasn't come across that representing a system actor,
Yes.
then they will think you're a complete idiot. That happened to me when I was in my 20s a long time ago, and I have never used that since for a systems actor. But even as a person, it's pretty rotten. I mean, look, the arms are coming out somewhere around here. The legs, even my legs, I don't have long legs, are a lot longer than that.
Yes.
So let's just have a think about how we could represent people easily in a fail-safe way.
Okay.
I used to draw people as a sort of star people. You have to really think, and they still often go wrong.
Yes.
Can you see that one? It looks like a bit of a bat wing.
Yes.
I think it probably should be more like that, but they're not fail-safe. So a few years ago, I found a fail-safe way of drawing people.
Okay.
Why not draw along with me? So all you need is a squiggle, and actually it doesn't particularly matter precisely what your squiggle's like, as long as it's vaguely rectangular sort of squiggle. Above the squiggle, draw an oval. Typically it would be, about half the height of the squiggle. Mm-hmm. Yep. Add some legs. Add some arms. It's important that the arms come out of the shoulders as opposed to the waist. And then, that actually captures the essence of a person. Look, there's no neck drawn in. No ears, no eyes, no nose, no mouth. But you have a person. If you really, really have time and want to be bothered, you can add some feet. But certainly don't worry about the hands and the details. It's the essence. What's the essence?
Because that clearly looks like a person.
Absolutely.
And as you say, it's really, really simple to draw.
Very simple, and it's fail-safe. Unlike this one, where
Yes.
the arm can go wrong. It's always that one, that last arm, that gets me. So yeah, this works for me. And they're fun. They're versatile. You know that you can turn them upside down. I think, because I haven't got much space up here, I think they can do a sort of slightly wacky handstand, the sort that I've never been able to do. But that would be quite gymnastic, being able to do that as well.
Yeah, absolutely. So I mean, that's a really practical, and I know you showed us how to do that in the session, and I was sitting there doing it, thinking, actually, I can do this. I can do it. And then you set us the challenge, and perhaps people watching this might like to try this challenge of drawing a person on a bicycle.
Absolutely. So to do that, think about what is the essence of somebody on a bicycle. I would suggest looking sideways on, and then you see the two big wheels. What else is absolutely essential? So have a go. Now, here's a little hint. The spokes, the pedals, most of the frame of the bicycle, most of the limbs of the person are not actually essential. Shall I go ahead and have a go?
Yeah, you know what, Penny, that would be fantastic.
So this is just my version. The wheels, absolutely essential. And especially if you put this underneath.
Yes.
It's a combination of words and images.
And that's interesting, isn't it? Because there is sometimes a perception that if we're being visual, we have to forget about text. But actually, the combination, we can cut down on the amount of text and use visual metaphors for things to get the message across. So, fantastic. So, what sort of, I mean, you've mentioned rich pictures already, and I mean, I'm a fan of rich pictures, Penny. But
well, why do you think I mentioned Saucerson's methodology? Adrian's getting all excited behind the camera.
I am, but like, what other ways? What other deliverables or methods or what other artefacts could we use drawing for as a BA?
Almost anything where you have to interact with humans. So you can use it for presentations. I did that today. You can use it sitting down with a group for listening to people. So I use this drawing in coaching, which I tend to do virtually, and I actually capture the discussion as we go. And I've been doing that in the presentations as well, capturing them, and you can see those on Twitter if you have a look. You can develop something as a group, which is really powerful. You can use graphic templates to help you think through things. And I gave some examples this morning. I'm afraid I gave out every single one I had, and I've now committed to sending out loads more. But I have a little graphic template card for a meeting, for things to do in a meeting.
Yes.
Setting up the purpose really clearly, being clear on what the objectives are.
So that there are so many creative ways we can use these sort of techniques. So, okay, I'm certain, Penny, that having heard and seen that even just this small segment of some of the things that you said, that people will want to stay in touch, they'll want to know more. How can people follow you? How can people find out about your work? I know you've written books, and how can people stay in touch? I haven't
written a book on this yet, but it'll probably be quite a big bit of my next book, which is all about creative collaboration.
Fantastic.
If you're interested in this particular thing, then I do have a website which sends out graphics for free. Graphics made easy.co.uk. Now, if you sign up there, that will send you a different graphic and how you can use it as a BA each week for 3 months.
Fantastic.
So that's a way to get going. If you're interested in getting in touch, then I'm on Twitter and I'm on LinkedIn. Just be very aware that my name ends with AN and not EN. I think there's some coach. I think I'm unique in the world as an AN.
You are certainly unique in the world, Penny. We can be absolutely certain of that. So,
I think you are too, Adrian.
Fantastic. Well, thank you so much for sharing so freely, and I'm sure people will find this a useful resource, and I'm sure they'll want to get in touch with you. So thank you very much, Penny.
Super, thank you.
Hi, it's Adrian again. I hope you enjoyed that video. If you did, please consider hitting the subscribe button. Then you'll get notified every time there's a new piece of business analysis related content. So I hope you're doing well, and I hope to catch up with you at a BA event sometime soon.